Hey everybody, welcome to Klosmi Commentary. This is our first episode. I'm Klos.
And I'm Kos.
And today we just covered the Champions League. We're sort of getting ready for the next season.
It's a preview of the season to come.
Yeah, based on the end of last season, we went over the Champions League, and then the top 5 leagues.
Yep, the Spanish League, Serie A, Bundesliga, Liga, and EPL.
Yeah, we were a bit more detail in the Spanish League. We spent a lot of time on Neymar there.
He deserved it.
Yeah, he does. Or maybe he doesn't. And Serie A, we talked about Juventus. Cos had some nice insights because he is our Italian expert after all.
Mm-hmm.
Bit more slight on the Bundesliga and Ligue 1 or Ligue 1 because there's less to talk about there.
At the moment.
Yeah, and then we finished up with the EPL where we go into a bit more detail because that is our focus league for our podcast. And there's probably a bit more depth in that league than the other leagues. But yeah, and we've got more access to it. It's a lot easier to watch.
And that's it. So we hope you enjoy the show.
And here's our first episode. Hello and welcome to the Klosmi Commentary, episode number 1, where we look to educate, analyse and entertain. I'm here with Klosmi. I'm Klos. He's Klosmi.
Yeah.
That's where the Klosmi comes from. Yeah.
Don't get confused.
Yeah, don't get confused.
Yeah.
Of course, Kos. We just say Kos.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, we don't refer to each other much because we're talking to each other. All right.
Yeah.
So, just to give you a bit of a heads up, today obviously we're going to be talking about just the lead up into the new season, based on the end of last season. It was pretty. There were a lot of fronts. There were a lot of things to keep you focused on, keep your fingers on the pulse. Obviously, we focus on the EPL because that's what we know best. We've got the most access to it. There's a bit of a Serie A, La Liga. It's relevant to, and PSG, also known as Ligue 1. But that's France's problem. That's not ours. And the Bundesliga, of course.
Well, we can't forget about these Germans.
The Germans, that's it. The Germans. And then Hamburger,
the hamburger.
Our champion, a European Cup winning.
Hamburgers. It's a nice meal.
Yeah, it is a nice. There's a lot of nice meals in Germany, in that whole league. Was it the hamburger?
The hamburgers and. No, that was just it, really.
Oh, no.
The others were just like the munchies.
Yeah, we had some great nicknames for the German league when we did betting. It was good times. Because before we get into that, just a few headlines.
Phil Neville at it again?
Yeah, so the Women's World Cup, of course.
He's always got something to say.
Yeah.
Right? And he makes out every time that it's not a big deal, but then it is a big deal. Because he'll say something like, it's not like he'll say something like it's not important, it's not that important, but then he'll go on a complete rant to make it that it is important.
Yeah, I mean the first time was the Cameroon.
The Cameroon game was
incident.
The first one where he just went off, and it was great. We enjoy it when Phil goes on one of his rants.
And now the latest one.
There's another one. It's about the US. Well, it's the Women's World Cup. They're staying in a hotel. Right, the English people, the
English team, the English team.
They're staying.
The players,
in a
the backroom staff, all the English
everyone.
people,
and the members of the US backroom staff decided to scout out.
And we don't know how many too, because the article.
I don't know how many.
At first, it sounds like it's like an army of them, like they had 10 people.
When Phil's talking about it,
each one with binoculars, just creating peepholes into the next room or something. But
so they scouted out where the English team was staying, and Phil obviously had something to say to that.
Yeah, you got to comment on that.
He started by saying it's not a concern. The only thing I would say is it's not something that I want my team ops persons doing. It's not something that England would do. He just keeps going on and on. We're happy with our hotel. We were training, so I hope they enjoyed the hotel. It's not something we'd do. Send someone around to another team's hotel.
He
just
not
keeps
something
going
that we
on and
would
on.
do.
He goes on to say, "Oh, but it's their problem." I'm sure Jill, the US soccer coach,
Yeah.
I'm sure Jill probably wouldn't have been very happy with that arrangement. And then he goes on to say, "It will have no bearing on the game." I actually found it quite funny. I just thought, what are they doing? It's not etiquette, really, is it? But it's not a concern. It's not a concern. Deal. But then he had to say everything that he did.
Yeah, it's just it's a bit. You kind of wonder if his time under Alex Ferguson had anything to do with that. Just the mind games, because of course England are playing the US in a semi-final.
Yeah,
that's
going to be a cracking.
That's going to be a good game.
By the way,
and I mean. Like it's a weird thing to comment on. Like, well, I don't know what he's doing, but
well, you can comment. But once he said it's not a concern, why did he go on?
Yeah,
he does this often. Like Phil Neville, he's a classic. He's a classic person. We love him.
Once again, not his brother Gary.
No, Phil Neville.
Phil Neville.
Gary is a completely different beast.
Yeah, he spends more time bantering with Jamie Carragher on Twitter, but. That's
very good banter between those two. But,
in the pundits, whatever it's called, the little place that they do their punditry. Two pundits that we have respect for, by the way.
Yes.
We make fun of a lot of pundits, but those two are usually pretty.
We like them.
Pretty good. We like them. Along with Ruud Gullit.
Ruud Gullit is Ruud Gullit's probably number one. He's our favourite.
Our all-star team. Yeah. He'd be the captain.
of punditry.
Moving on from that story, we had another. So, and this will sort of help us go into the Premier League a little bit. Rafa Benitez being essentially shafted by Newcastle.
Mike Ashley. Well, Mike Ashley is an absolute disgrace. He is. Newcastle should be contending for Europe every season. This is
well, at least the Europa League, because of course the PPL is very competitive.
Europe. And he's just a disgrace.
No, he's basically George Hicks and Gillett. I don't even know. Hicks and Gillett merged into one person, and his size sort of represents that as well.
The story goes that Rafa thought he was staying at Newcastle, and then he found out through his friend via a phone call that you've been shafted, and he didn't even know.
Is that was in the article?
That was not in that. Not in that article that we found, but it was. Okay, so that's what happened.
It's from unnamed news sources.
Yeah, no,
we can't name our source. We can't name our sources.
No, we can't.
We can't.
We've got people scouting everything, but
But yeah.
So yeah, look, it's a pretty sad situation.
It is a terrible situation, but I mean, there's rumours of the takeover. I don't know what the update is on that now, but for a while,
it's taken a while.
Well, apparently it's all under. They've got some sort of thing where they're not allowed to tell anybody about what's going on.
Well, I hope
for legal
it's done
reasons
soon, because Newcastle should be much better than where they are.
I think there's more than one bid going, and that's why they're all hush hush about it, and they can't. I think they're just hush hush because Mike Ashley's just.
He's a great man, Mike Ashley.
He's a bit of sarcasm in that.
Loves the club.
Yeah,
absolutely loves it.
This is Cos unleashing
his bottom line
with sarcasm. Just reveling.
He's
bathing in sarcasm now.
Why would anyone think I'm serious? Mike Ashley loves the club.
Because not everybody knows who Mike Ashley is.
That's
not
true.
everybody knows.
Yeah.
Remember, we got some people who don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true.
And we do like to explain the situation to people.
No, you do. I
give
just
context.
Like
to Cos likes to give.
Yeah.
He just goes.
This is why we need you.
But this is what we do. Cos is here to let loose, and I'm here to just bring it back and explain why.
And on the odd occasion when you let loose, I bring you back. So it's fun.
So it happens less often, but it does happen. Believe me, it'll happen. But Rafa Benitez, man of class, sent a heartfelt message to Newcastle fans. Just basically. Typical classy stuff. Thanks for the fantastic years. He really got into the club, a bit like when he was at Liverpool. Of course, he brought back Liverpool's glory days with their previous European glory.
He did.
Before Jurgen Klopp won the Champions League with them last season. And I think that's we'll go into that in a second. But yeah, just a classy guy. And just before we go into the Premier League and where we're at now, that article with Koulibaly.
Koulibaly,
Yes, that was
the Napoli centre back.
Rafa again.
This is to do with Rafa Benitez, and just talking about tactics and defending. And I think, what was the story? They went to a restaurant, they sat down.
So this is an anecdote. So
it's an anecdote from Koulibaly.
So we don't have an article for it.
No, but he just sat down and he got all the wine glasses together, and he's just started talking about tactics.
Yeah,
like,
so this is like the welcoming dinner for Koulibaly, and it's like a you come there, let's eat dinner. It's like, right, tactics, let's go.
Yeah.
You're here. Whoa, okay, boss. Yes, okay.
No, my favourite bit was when he was talking about showing the videos.
Yeah, because he's showing videos of his previous, like Koulibaly's previous
performances in defence or whatever,
and first the attacking part.
The attacking part.
The first, because he showed a few videos like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so he showed him some videos where Koulibaly did, he made like he won the ball back.
He won the ball, like a strong tackle, and he did whatever.
He did like interesting things and like what looks flashy and good plays,
Yeah, but not to Rafa.
And Rafa, what did he think?
He didn't like it.
No.
I think because when Koulibaly won the ball, he was out of position.
Yeah.
So something happened. He would have been out of position, and Rafa basically said, "Look, if this was a stronger man, you'd be out of position. You wouldn't have win the ball. This is not good." And then he starts showing Koulibaly's simple plays, like just passing it around or just doing his job, basically.
And Koulibaly
Koulibaly's like, this is boring. Like, this is a simple place. And he goes, exactly.
That is Rafa there, and that's the defensive coach. Like, I think you said it well the other day. Defenders, they all want to play or something like that.
Well, that's what Ruud said.
Yeah,
and not just defenders.
One of the reasons he's our MVP.
Yeah, not just defenders, goalkeepers as well. They all want to play, like the midfielders and the forwards. They just want to play. It's not their job. And then things happen, and then they concede silly goals, like the World Cup final. Hugo Lloris just wanted to play, wanted to have some fun, and then Mandzukic scored. Lucky nothing happened, but to France.
Yeah, they still got through and they won the World Cup.
It's become notorious now. These defenders and these goalkeepers, they all want to play.
Which is fine, but safety first. No. It's fine as long as safety first. As long as you can guarantee safety
by playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well then it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay. If it is the safer move, do it. But that's the defender's role. You can tell we're a lot of fun here. We're just telling people to just sit in their place and not not be.
The midfielders have free rein to
all midfielders in a more attacking positions. Yeah.
We don't want them in their place. We want them to be
creative. They got to express themselves. They got to get past. They got to make stuff happen. All right.
Yeah. The only way a defender expresses himself is
eventually I'll make that video.
Anticipating where the ball's going to go and just getting in the way. That's all you got to do.
Well, defender's role and a goalkeeper's role is to just
stop,
make them make a mistake. That's it.
That's it.
You get into good position. Wait for the bad pass.
You're in the wrong positions if you want to have fun and want to play.
Yeah,
you're in the wrong positions.
And that's the funny thing, because it's like a hierarchy, right? The further back you go, the less skill there is, but the better understanding of the game there is. Like you got better heads on people's shoulders. You
generally,
should.
Not every player, but generally.
But generally speaking, that's how it works. And then as you go from the middle of the pitch to out wide, they get shorter and shorter. Because and also as you go further up the pitch, sometimes unless this is
because those are the guys that have to score the goals and make things happen.
Well, they've got to win balls in the air.
They've got to win balls, and they just want to win the game.
You're not going to send many crosses out to the wing, so
that's true.
And also being shorter helps with agility. So the body mass is lower and stuff like that. But that's getting into technical details. So moving on from there. Now we'll go into all right. We're talking about the Champions League from Liverpool. We'll start with that.
So obviously, Champions League,
So the Champions League this season was very obviously it was a great season.
It was a great season
for the neutral.
Was it really? Yeah.
Or not for the Juventus fan.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No,
that's what I have to say for the neutral.
I can't hide it.
Yeah, Cos always gets emotional when it comes to Juventus or Richmond,
or any Italian team. Really, I get emotional.
Yeah, he does.
But
for good reason.
Well,
his heart, it's close to home.
The emotional Italian.
And that's what we bring here, Klosmi commentary. We bring passion.
But anyway,
if nothing else,
it was good for the neutral because Ajax made it pretty far.
Yeah,
they got to the semi-finals.
Yeah, semi-final.
Who else?
So many ridiculous comebacks and it was just insane.
Yeah. Ajax did really well.
Well, forgetting about the group stage, I mean, there was obviously the group of death with Liverpool, PSG, Napoli.
Yeah.
Which up until the last minute could have gone anyway.
No, but look, Liverpool in that game they deserved to win 4-0.
They did, but it was just so tight in that group, and Liverpool shot themselves in the foot by losing certain key games. But anyway,
the Red Star, yeah.
But
their away record was not good.
It was terrible up until the Bayern game, basically.
Yeah, that's what happened.
But they turned it around, and the rest is history. And it was actually terrible.
The comeback against Barca was amazing.
Yeah, well, we'll just quickly sort of go through the stages. I mean, the sort of important fixtures. It got to sort of when they did the draw for the finals. They now do a draw where they show all the teams. So from the moment the draw is made, you know who you're going to play if you win, if that makes sense. As opposed to doing a new draw every week.
Yeah, so they changed it this season.
Because it used to be that you win the game and then they do another draw.
It's all random.
Yeah, you don't know who you're playing. But then after they changed it. And when we saw the draw, we thought, nice. Because Liverpool got...
was it Porto?
Yeah, well, this was the quarterfinals, wasn't it? Yeah. Quarterfinals, yeah. Liverpool got Porto, which was the best case scenario at the time. And Juventus got Ajax. Was that the quarterfinals or the round 16?
The round of 16 was Atletico, and then the quarterfinals was Ajax.
Yeah, that's right. And I think it was actually the round of 16, and then the quarterfinals onwards were picked. Bang, bang, bang. The round of 16 was separate because you still got all the other teams because you can't play against the same nation and stuff like that. But anyway, you were like sweet.
Yeah, I was
because we were both thinking, all right. Porto, Ajax, they're the two main weaklings because the other teams were PSG, Manchester United. So it was all the English teams that were in there. So Liverpool, City, United, Tottenham.
And then you had Bayern Munich and
then we had Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid.
No, Real got knocked out.
Sorry, Ajax knocked them out. So there was Juventus, Barcelona, Ajax, Porto. So clearly the standout worst teams there were Ajax, Porto, and probably arguably Manchester United. So, and funnily enough, two of those three teams made it through to the next round. So, because Man United got PSG, and they knocked them out after losing the first leg at home.
Yeah.
Was it 2-1 or something?
I don't know.
Whatever. 2-0, I think. No, it was 2-0 at home. Yeah. And they won away 3-1 in slightly controversial circumstances. They won with a penalty at the end. But also with just PSG doing a typical PSG just...
Yeah.
They had no right to lose that game and they found a way. They always do. And then, of course, Juventus won their first leg away from home as well against Ajax, 2-1, I think.
Yeah.
And then the second leg, they got beaten at home by Ajax, 3-1. So that was a big upset. And in the previous round, Ajax had lost to Real Madrid at home. And once again, they came away from, and then they just obliterated them at the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
After Sergio Ramos deliberately got a second yellow card he got a yellow card, so he'd be suspended for that game to wipe his slate clean for the quarterfinals, I believe, and that didn't work. So Real Madrid just can't defend without him. So that was two already. Ajax, the giant killer, and then we got to the semi-finals. I think when we had the next big
Or the semi-finals.
Well, actually, Tottenham against
Tottenham's
Manchester
the other
City.
story.
Yeah, Tottenham against Manchester City. That was insane. The second leg, they won the first leg 1-0, despite just being obliterated.
Yeah.
And then, and then in the second leg, they won. They lost 4-3, but that was enough to take them through. And it was just VAR controversial. It was just crazy. So we've already had so much. Like, you don't normally get this much for 2 seasons of Champions League, let alone up until we're not even in the semi-finals yet. And then Tottenham was up against Ajax in the semis. Liverpool against Barcelona. Liverpool loses the first leg 3-0.
Yeah, and go home and win 4-0.
without Salah and Firmino, so 2 of their 3 key strikers. So congrats to them. Yeah, boy. And Tottenham beat Ajax. I think they did the reverse this time, didn't they?
Yeah.
So Ajax won away from home.
Yeah, and then they lost at home.
So, or did they draw away from home? Either way, Ajax got knocked out in the second leg at home after being 2-0 up, which I think was 3-0 on aggregate or something along those lines. And then Tottenham came back to score 3 goals, which took them through. So then they met Liverpool, and the rest is history. It was a terrible game, but Liverpool won. And then the Europa League was all English as well. Chelsea beat Arsenal 4-1 in the end. Also a terrible game because all 4 of those teams hadn't played for 3 weeks or something like that. So something for the Premier League organisers to think about for next season. But because if Ajax had made that final, I don't think Liverpool would have won. But they did. So that's sort of...
Oh, I think Liverpool would have won.
Yeah.
If Ajax made it.
Well, I'm just saying that because Liverpool were not match fit, and Ajax, I think, would have been more match fit at that time. So it would have made it... Ajax were a great team last season. So,
yeah, they were.
But unfortunately, so from there, now they've been torn apart, basically. So who's left to who? And
well, De Jong's gone to Barca. De Lig's going to go.
Is he? Yeah, we don't know yet.
We don't know where, but De Jong's gone to Barcelona.
Yeah,
and
De Ligt might be going to
Juventus is looking the most likely at this stage, but we don't know.
Manchester United are kidding themselves that he might go there, but it's not going to happen probably.
Oh, he'll go there. Yeah, Solskjaer. It's hard to turn down.
Yeah, he's the golden fingers. Yeah. he'll heal everybody. Soccer on Sunday, check it out.
No, I think the effects are worn off now.
Oh yeah, definitely worn off. The wheels have come off. But
he had the bliss.
All right, so context. So Bayern crashed out in the quarters, but completely outplayed by Liverpool. So they're looking at a rebuild after many seasons, sort of semi-finals.
They're being challenged in the Bundesliga now,
and they're being challenged in the Bundesliga now.
They're not having a clean slate.
Yeah,
over there. But they are looking to rebuild.
And because they weren't up to scratch in the Champions League, and they weren't up to scratch in the league either. They've just
they still won the league.
Yeah, they still won. Yeah, that's the Bundesliga. So they went up to scratch and they still won the league. You don't come up to scratch in the Premier League, you finish 7th. So
that's true.
It's a crazy. But back to the other continental teams, we've got Barcelona, who were just. It looked like they were destined to win the Champions League this season, especially after that semi-final win against Liverpool. It just looked like they're going to go through, and then they're just going to. It's not play Tottenham or Ajax. They're going to beat Tottenham or Ajax. That's done. Yeah. Tottenham never looked like beating them in the group stages because they played earlier in the season.
They did, yeah.
And Ajax, look, Barcelona are just a better version of Ajax. But
yeah, pretty much.
Although,
but maybe not this season.
They're a bit different. Ajax was different. A lot more sort of total football, like genuine. What Barca used to be, basically, a few seasons back. Barca's a bit worse than that now, so they've lost their way a little bit. But look, they still looked like they were going to dominate, and they coughed up a 3-0 lead, so they didn't deserve anything.
No, if you're coughing up those leads.
And then they lost their domestic cup
the Copa del
a few
Rey,
weeks later. Yeah. So, and not against a good team. It was against who?
I don't know.
It was
I just
against.
know the loss.
Actually, I think it was Bilbao.
Was it Bilbao?
I believe so.
Damn.
We'll check that, but
The Basque against the Catalans.
but
The Spain,
yeah, it was a disappointing season for them. Disappointing for Real Madrid too, who sacked their manager midway through.
Against Valencia.
And it was against Valencia they lost.
So, yep.
After they went 2-0 down, and then Messi got a consolation goal, and that was it. But Real Madrid had a more disappointing season. They didn't win any. What was it? They won the Club World Cup.
Yeah,
because that's what.
That's the one you want.
Yeah, so basically a cup made for European teams.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, which is going to be in mid-season this year. It's going to be weird, but whatever.
No matter.
In Qatar, but
Yeah.
That aside,
Enjoy the heat.
and Atletico was below par as well in the Champions League. They
were,
although they do so well considering the resources they have. They are still
the resources are getting better by each season.
But they're still a selling club, though. That's the thing. They're not a club that they can say, all right, we're going to hold on to all our good players, and we're going to, just.
They're getting there.
Yeah.
They're getting to that point.
It's amazing that they've gotten to where they are. I mean, as much of their sort of a brutish team, so much respect for Atletico Madrid.
Oh yeah.
And they just continuously finish in the top three. It's amazing, and consistently do better than Real Madrid, which is
It'll be interesting though for next season because Griezmann is looking like he's going to leave.
Yeah, he looks like he's. I think he's basically signed his. He just doesn't know where. Just like the Licht, except he looks like
Barcelona.
Barcelona, but possibly No, not PSG.
No, he's not going there.
No. I can't remember.
Barcelona's.
I mean, Griezmann is French, so he could go to PSG.
No, he's not going
but
there.
I don't know.
He's too smart for
the papers say, yeah, he's too smart.
I think. I don't know.
I don't know. He does play. No, let's not go there. But he is French, but I don't think that's enough. And the newspapers will write anything to sell these days.
They will.
But I mean that said, like Atletico, they've lined up like a player for Benfica. They made like 100 million euro.
Joe Felix.
Yeah,
Felix.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
I don't know how to say it.
But it's basically spelled Joe. Felix. But it's got some accent on the E, I think. Felix, I think, is the most likely. Will get us in less hot water. We try to be true to the pronunciations because we believe in true pronunciations. But if we don't know what they are, we'll wait until somebody else pronounces it, and then we'll start pronouncing them that way.
Otherwise, we'll just do it our way.
Yeah. But especially coming with a Polish background and like Italian, it's just some things you just got to do it the right way.
We don't know.
So we don't know, but anyway, that's going on. So yeah, Atletico looking to sort of hang on there and keep going. Diego Simeone seems to be staying, which is sort of every year the rumor mill just says, "Oh, is he going to stay? Is he going to go?" But
he always ends up staying in the end.
Yeah, well, Real Madrid have completely overhauled their team. They've bought like 5 players of like
there's one
50
man
million
who hasn't left.
More. Bale.
Yeah.
Bale's sticking around
He
for
wants
the paycheck.
to stay. He wants to fight for his place. I respect that.
I don't think he does.
No, he does.
Well, he said at some stage, I'm just going to stay.
Apparently, he hasn't learned like 10 words of Spanish.
Yeah.
But he wants to stay.
Yeah, he wants to stay. Yeah, apparently he's not really with the program. So
no, he's not.
Who knows what's going to happen with there? But there's also potential suitors in the Premier League. Who knows what's going to happen there?
There's actually a lack of interest in Bale. I think it's because of his high wages.
Yeah,
no one wants to pay.
I'm not sure how those contract situations work, but from what I understand, if they have high wages, someone has to pay them.
Yeah. And that's how I understand it, and therefore,
even if they sign a new contract, then or potentially the player just doesn't like. I'm sure they could agree on lower wages, but
he doesn't want to take lower wages.
Why should he?
That's his prerogative.
So. Some people want to play. Some people want some.
Want to sit on the bench.
Okay with not playing and getting money. So whatever. But yeah, that's Spain in a nutshell. I mean, yeah, complete overhaul for Real Madrid. I think Barcelona, there's a question mark over whether Neymar is going to come back, which is a very interesting development. But
they can't afford.
Well, they can't,
what it is, but
unless they sell things.
But Neymar has pretty much said, "I do not want to set foot in PSG again."
Has he actually gone that far?
Well, yeah, he doesn't want to play for them ever again.
Yeah,
so basically he doesn't want to set foot in the club.
he's sending messages to Barcelona players, and it's just I don't think Barcelona had an official statement. Who has an official statement that Neymar has asked to come back? Like, who would say, "Oh, we will officially say that one of our ex-players wants to come back"?
I really think Neymar should go to the EPL, the Premier League.
That would be interesting. It will never happen, but it would be interesting.
It would be very interesting because he can't afford to go down anymore.
Yeah,
not too easily because it's a different culture in England.
I thought you meant go down in terms of to a worse club, but
no, I meant go down as in diving. He can't do that in England.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
He'll get
absolutely
lambasted.
And VAR's coming in finally, so I think that's going to start disappearing slowly around the whole continent.
What?
Diving because of
diving.
No, not completely, but it'll
completely
diminish. It'll get lower.
It won't. It's cultural.
He's built in his way.
It's built
he doesn't
in the
believe.
culture.
He doesn't believe
the Italians, the Spaniards, the Portuguese. It's that culture. Forget it.
Oh no,
they'll keep diving.
In the lower leagues they'll do it.
Yeah,
but there's no point doing it later because if they do it properly, if they go down,
mate, they're trained from a young age. That's how it is.
Yeah, I heard the Italians had actual coaching sessions for how to dive.
No, it's not actual coaching sessions, but they do tell the players if they get bumped or even a slight touch just to go down.
Yeah.
Because you win a free kick.
But that's not diving because, you
but it's a different interpretation.
Yeah, true.
The English will say, if you can stay on your feet, stay on your feet.
Yeah, I don't believe in that.
But,
for me,
someone else will say...
If you've been knocked off balance, go down.
That's what I would do.
Why handicap yourself because the other guy fouled you? If they fouled you, you go down.
Yeah, even if it's soft. But if the English will say
but if you're off balance, then you've been denied. You've been handicapped.
Okay. Well, what if you're fouled but you don't go off balance? You just choose to fall.
Nah, you just go. No, well, it depends. If it's a hopeless situation, then sure. Right, you could do it, right? Yeah. Because they're just bumping you for no reason or whatever. It's their fault, right? But if it's a situation where you genuinely are trying to get to the ball, go for the ball. You probably got a better chance.
Yeah.
If you're in the 100%. Box, though, generally, if you get contact, that can be a foul. Then the defender is stuffed up.
Well, that's the
the defender shouldn't be making that tackle.
Well, coming from the Italian point of view, you go down.
Yeah,
that's what they'll say because you can win a pen.
But if you can get a shot off, I'd prefer that. Just get the shot off.
Well, so would I. But
Yeah, but if you're getting clipped, then what can you do? So, moving on.
No, I think if Neymar does go to the EPL, he'll probably become a better player as a result.
Yeah, no, definitely, 100%.
So
but it won't happen.
Like that, but it won't happen.
It's a shame, but it would be nice. But where would he even go? Who would take him?
Oh, Chelsea will take him.
Nah, transfer ban, mate. No, not happening.
No, but we're just hypothetically. we're not actually talking. I reckon.
All right. So,
he's not going to go to a non-top 6 club. So realistically, Man City is probably the only ones that could afford him.
It would be Man City. Man United would want him,
but they're not going to get him.
He wouldn't go there. So, no disrespect, but they're terrible right now.
At this stage, no, he's not going there. Realistically, Man City or Liverpool don't need him, I don't think. And they probably wouldn't want to pay for him.
No, Liverpool won't want him.
Yeah, so...
Arsenal, maybe.
Nah.
Arsenal might want him.
They'll want him. They'll all want him.
Oh, right.
Realistically...
Tottenham wouldn't want him, though. No, because they've got this sort of team unit, you know what I mean? It's sort of
that's true.
It would be too disruptive. No, he'd be an ego. That's not Tottenham.
Look, City's probably the best fit for him.
But he wouldn't be... I don't think City would take him either because
they do have Gabriel Jesus and under Aguero.
But they're not the same position, They play together in the national team. Neymar plays a bit behind. He's not an out-and-out striker.
Oh, he's not?
No. Although sometimes he might play there.
Pep will find something for him.
But he's more of an attacking mid. I think that's a more
No, he does
adequate
score a lot of
description
goals
of
for an attacking mid.
But look, let's move on from Neymar.
Yeah,
because we've still got a
we
few
did him
things to
too
get
much.
through.
We gave him too much.
Yeah, Neymar always hogging the spotlight.
You don't deserve it, Neymar, but you got it anyway.
But yeah. So the Spanish thing that summed up. Barcelona won the league easily.
Yeah, they did.
Atletico came second easily, and Real Madrid came third easily, and then there was a big gap to everybody else. Probably wasn't that big, but
Sevilla and
but that's the lead up sort of to what we're looking at this season now. Barcelona trying to get the Champions League again. The league, they're already in a good position. Atletico just trying to be competitive as usual, and Real Madrid looking for a complete overhaul for Zidane to work his magic. But there's only so much.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what Real do this season. They're still a very good team. But
I don't think Real Madrid are going to challenge next season because there are too many players in one go.
They're always dangerous,
and none of them are Ronaldo
in the Champions League.
So
they're still dangerous.
In the Champions League, yeah, but in the league,
no,
they won't be consistent
you'd
enough.
Expect Barca to hold it.
Yeah, no, Real won't be consistent enough, and Barca have been more than good enough in the last few seasons.
Yeah,
so,
you'd expect Barca to hold the league.
But moving on to to the Italian league, Juventus, of course, with the traditional, holding on to power.
Yeah, the 8 straight in a row.
Yeah,
they're going for number 9. Realistically, they should get it.
Yeah. Last season was that it looked like it was going to be an interesting battle between Juventus and Napoli until Juventus signed Ronaldo.
Yeah, and then it was all done.
From that moment, it was just a fight for second place, which Napoli won easily.
There is no fight for second place. But it's always Juve or Napoli.
Well, the more interesting battle in Serie A is the battle for Milan to return to Europe. Both Milan,
AC Milan,
both Milan.
Inter
got there this season. They made it back.
Season, but
were they in Champions League last season?
Yeah, they were.
And then that's why they didn't make it through.
Tottenham.
Yeah, that's right.
They bottled it.
So they
anyway.
Fourth place finish for Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Atalanta's
the story. They finished third. A provincial club, a small club. So very low wages, finished third.
So
insane.
It's a great effort from Atalanta. It's a shame that it's probably going to be a. But look, it's a great story.
Well, they get a run in the Champions League.
Yeah, they get a run in the Champions League.
It's absolutely incredible.
It'll be a short run.
It's a small club. There's no doubt about it.
And they finished third too. It wasn't they just scraped in. They
got third.
They got third. So well deserved. So that's 3 blue teams because Napoli, of course, second. And then Milan just missing out on the Champions League spot. They had a chance in the last day, but they didn't take it. They
finished 5th, but they're not in the Europa League either.
Yes, FFP said
financial
no,
fair play,
and Milan said we agree. Whatever their logic behind that, it could be because they want to focus on the league. Whatever it is, they want to get their finances in order.
It had something to do with their re-signing Donnarumma as well, and keeping some of their young players. It allowed them to free up some funds to get them to sign lucrative deals.
Yeah, so
they're
spending money they don't
There's
have.
logic behind the reasoning.
Yeah,
and to be honest, not playing in the Europa League is going to give them a better shot of finishing in the top 4.
No, it always detracts from your league form when you're in the Europa League.
It does.
It's a difficult thing to juggle.
Hopefully they can get back in because Italy needs them.
Yeah,
they're a huge club. Milan.
Well, our theory here is that Napoli is sort of holding the torch for the rest of the clubs because it seems like
they're that's your theory, not mine. Napoli want to be.
Oh no, Napoli want to win.
Yeah.
Of course they do. They've actually done really well. For this long to have been consistently coming second, it's really they could probably come second. What of the 8 seasons Juventus have won, Napoli probably come second 4 times.
Maybe 7 of them.
Nah, not that many. No, because Roma, remember at the start.
Oh yeah, Roma. Yeah, I forget about Roma.
And was that the first season?
No, the first. Well, the Juventus one.
Yeah, when Roma just started like a house on fire and they won everything.
No, that was
games.
Probably the second
season.
Because the first season
would have been Milan then.
Yeah, Milan got second. Yeah,
and then
Juventus
Roma,
went unbeaten.
And I think since then it's been Napoli maybe. So
yeah,
they might have 5
out
6
of Roma
seasons.
and Napoli.
Yeah,
So
it's been 5 or 6. I think Roma got another one in there as well. But
Roma. So this season, like Juventus should win again.
But what we're underlining here
Yeah.
what we're underlining is that it's not always about the title race. A league competitiveness is not limited to just what's going up at the very top. Obviously,
it's the most fun race.
Yeah, it is.
But,
which is why we don't really like La Liga, because it's there's the top race and then everything else is just this mess. It's just
below the European spots, it's just crap.
Yeah, it's really bad.
It's not even a discussion. It's the league's designed to do well in Europe.
Yeah, which we will be talking about in the videos we will be doing eventually soon. But until that time, deal with our podcast. So, but yeah, so in Serie A, obviously, the interesting part is sort of this trail of, well, we've got Roma and Napoli, and the Milan clubs, and they're all sort of in that mix of sort of, let's say, second to sixth place. It's not quite as strong as the Premier League, but that part is interesting, and
it changes every season as well.
Yeah, and it changes
sometimes
a lot.
Lazio pop up in there. And
there's always Fiorentina's been in and out from there in the relegation zone.
Watch out for Fiorentina, new owners. Watch out for them.
Some more richness coming through.
Yeah,
but that's Serie A summed up. So leading into this season now, it's just about seeing if the Milan clubs can progress further.
Well,
both Inter in Europe, because they're in the second season of Champions League now.
You'd expect Inter to progress with Antonio Conte
to do a little bit. Yeah, they've got Conte now, so they should do better.
That's a big appointment. Juventus should really just hold their position in the Serie A at least.
That's top.
But from a Juve fan's perspective, getting Sarri is a good idea.
Yeah,
I thought it was, because
that'll be very interesting.
Well, yeah, but because Juventus have been pretty much designed under Allegri to counter the opposition and navigate their way through and just win their games. Sarri likes to boss the game, hold possession, and just completely dominate.
So you're saying if they get the wheels rolling, in Europe they should gain a bit of traction and
I reckon they
become a bit more of a powerhouse.
They could, but it depends on the squad that Sarri uses as well.
Well, yeah, because
the squad is not necessarily designed well under Sarri's system, so it depends how it all goes. But I like the idea that Sarri's going to bring for Juventus to start bossing the game. Yeah,
because they've always, even though they've been a strong team in Europe, they've never been, when they get to a final, they're always the underdogs.
They are. It's for a reason. It's how they play.
Even in the semis, they're usually the underdogs.
Yeah, their design was to counter what the opposition would do, rather than just trying to control the game.
So now the plan here will be to be more on the front foot.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the plan. If the squad can do it, that's another story.
Yeah, what will happen from there? So that's one of the interesting things we'll be looking at this season in Serie A.
But they should hold the league title. Especially if they get the league, and Adrian Rabiot from PSG is going to go
another
there.
Defender, isn't he?
Is he? I thought he was a mid.
But anyway, you're right. I think he's a winger.
And someone
wrong
else
player.
is going there as well.
But they're looking to strengthen, obviously. Yeah. So they're not looking to slow
Aaron
down.
Ramsey's there as well.
Aaron Ramsey's.
He might be good under Sarri.
Yeah.
So
that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So yes, Serie A. Moving down the European coefficients to the Bundesliga. That's we said before. Bayern looking to sort of restructure,
rebuild, restructure, but at the same time hold the title.
Yeah,
Dortmund will be their main challengers. There's no doubt,
and they look like they've held on to the majority of their players too. So
they signed Mats Hummels again.
So they might be strong again. They look like they'll be stronger than last season.
They look to have strengthened,
as opposed to being
different.
Well, no, as opposed
selling
to,
and buying,
selling,
just being
exactly.
Being
a thin club like Atletico, they'll do a small rebuild this season.
So Dortmund should be a bit better as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but it's going to be between those two. Yeah. There's not going to be anyone anywhere near them.
I think so. No.
In the Bundesliga, because Dortmund's doing really well to continue on from Klopp's era.
The only other option is probably Leipzig, however you say it, and
Red Bull.
And Red Bull.
And
Il Toro
Rosso.
There's Mönchengladbach and Leverkusen, but they're never really in contention.
Not for the
Not for the
title,
title,
but obviously
so-
they'll be pushing for Champions League spots.
But
But that's as far as they
Yeah.
and cup honours.
yeah.
The cup is up for anyone usually.
Although,
So.
fun fact, Leverkusen have never won a trophy.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All right, they'll be pushing for it then.
That's
But I always like Leverkusen.
They always choke. They choke it up.
I always like him though. I still like him.
Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just because I think they were always aggressive, and when we did our betting, they were always they were sort of that team that would either win or lose. It made them very.
That's why they never won a trophy.
Yeah, that's why we like them for betting. Betting a team that wins or loses.
Well, if you take out the draw factor,
Yeah,
then
you
it's
take
a
out the draw
50-50.
factor, but that's something to discuss. If people want us to talk about betting, we know a fair bit about that. But for now, we'll stick to football stuff, and one day we'll delve into that. But yeah, that's really it for the Bundesliga. And of course, PSG, otherwise known as the French League,
Yeah.
that's it. PSG's falling apart, but they're still going to win the league.
Are they?
That's all we need to say, I think.
Are they?
Well, Neymar wants to leave. No, just
No.
sorry.
Are they still going to win the league? Because
right.
Lille challenged. Not that they challenged, but they played well. And so, who knows?
well,
Who knows? It might be. We
Lyon's-
expect them to win, but they could.
no,
be close.
Lyon's been good too.
Lyon's been good, but Lille was the next best team. And
Were they second? Lille.
Lille was.
Lille.
And apologies for my French pronunciations. It
Yeah,
might
I'm not
be-
actually sure how to pronounce Lille either, but
I'll just do it the Italian way.
No, it's good. Lille.
Lille.
Yeah, you're right. They
Lille.
did come
Yeah.
second. Lyon in hot pursuit. They were both comfortably ahead of Saint Etienne, but
Yes, Saint.
so those three will be in the Champions League representing the French contingent. Still ages away from PSG, but PSG they lost 5 games, but I'm pretty sure 4 of those losses were after they won the title. So it's not a true reflection of what
They should still win the
did.
league.
They'll win.
But
They'll
no, but
almost certainly
Lille
win the
were
league.
impressive.
But PSG
were.
took a massive reputational hit in the transition to this season because Neymar wants to leave, and that was
Not just Neymar, Mbappe
well,
wants
no,
to go.
but I mean, once Neymar says, then everyone else is like,
It's
all right, look,
it's a domino
we're
effect.
done here. It's like when it's like when Mbappe left.
I really want Verratti to come back to Italy.
Verratti,
The Italian. I really want him to come back. He plays for PSG.
Well, Krychowiak's left PSG.
Who?
Krychowiak.
Oh yeah.
He was at PSG. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where he went, but
I think he's in Russia.
Russia
Yeah, I
now.
think from memory. I'm
Closer
not
to
sure.
home.
Yeah.
It's probably further to home actually, but Russia's not actually as close to Poland as one might think. But look,
Oh, the western part is.
yeah, the western
The
part,
eastern
but-
part, forget it.
Yeah, there's really not that much to like.
Yeah.
You don't spend that much time in the western part. Although most of the real cities are in the western part. I know, but
Did you say you don't spend much time in the west?
yeah, I said it incorrectly. Look, look,
okay.
I just
I
don't.
can't
I just
imagine
don't like the
Siberia
idea.
will be a good holiday destination.
I just don't like the idea of going to Russia. Anyway, but yeah, the French league. There's not really much else to add to that. So that's just something that we'll keep an eye on. Certainly, PSG. Because it's how is PSG going, and what is the status quo of the league? Like, because it used to be a very even league. When we did the video on how many titles, it's our most recent video, so you should check that out.
The French league we're talking
which European, the European caliber? The European heritage of all the teams, and we point out how many titles. The nearest team, PSG is not even in the list. There's, I think, teams are on like 10.
Marseille have more European heritage.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Marseille's the only team that has actually won something in Europe.
Yeah.
So, it's a very even league. Actually, that was in the previous one about which league is the most competitive.
Yeah.
It's definitely in that one.
I'm sick of PSG myself. They always raid the Serie A.
Yeah.
Every time they want to sign Sandro Tonali from Brescia.
Yeah, because they can't
They
compete
want to
with the other
sign
leagues.
everyone.
Yeah.
I'm sick of this team always picking on the Serie A.
And
Off.
so if they...
Just off PSG. Right? You are nobody. You've been... When did you were made? In the 70s? You're irrelevant. Just off.
Oh.
Bloody PSG.
Yeah, so the so
But yeah,
whether or not PSG continues on will be of interest to us throughout the season. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. The rest of the leagues, we will be keeping tabs on a few leagues with personal favourites of ours. The Dutch league with Feyenoord, that's my team. I used to live there for 2.5 years.
I like Feyenoord.
Cool. They're not going to win anything, but look, every now and then they come up with a title, so which is just standard for them. So PSV thing, but yeah. So we're keeping an eye on Feyenoord. We're keeping an eye on LKS Łódź in the Ekstraklasa,
yes,
the Polish
they're
league.
back. LKS Łódź.
LKS is back.
Or the boat.
And were there any other favourites for you? Or
I like Rangers. Yeah.
The Rangers.
I legit like Rangers.
Gerrard's still in control, so we're going to keep tabs on that too.
Yeah, and there was another team that we're not going to talk about. Don't worry about.
But yeah, if we remember that, we'll say. But other than that, that's sort of the outlook for the season. Sort of coming from. Of course, we've left the best for last. Not necessarily the best, but the most important, probably the Premier League. The lead up from last season, of course, Liverpool and Manchester City battled it out throughout the season. It was crazy.
Yeah,
it was like a Clash of the Titans thing.
It was.
It was kind of like like something you'd expect from Barcelona, Real Madrid, if they were both actually
those two
competing.
teams were the best teams in Europe.
Yeah,
I think that,
and they were in the same league.
I mean, Tottenham fans might have something to say about that, but
who?
Tottenham fans, because they knocked down City.
Yeah,
but they still acknowledge that City were
deep down inside. They'll know.
Yeah, they'll know.
They're not.
But yeah, those two were elite teams.
Yeah,
they still are elite.
And
teams.
they left the rest of the league in their dust. Really, it'd be like Manchester City last season came up with a records tally of 100 points.
100
Insane.
points.
And they followed up this season with 98 points, so they weren't really far behind.
No,
and that was only really because I don't even know why they missed out on those points, because Liverpool didn't take them. Well,
they lost a crazy game to Crystal Palace, Man City, but they lost some games that they weren't expected to lose.
Yeah, they just had this little
they had a little
mental
it
was one period because
which is going to happen at some point.
Well, they're a momentum team. Like if it's going well for them, they'll beat anyone home or away. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but if things aren't going well for them, they're going to lose to Newcastle at home. So.
Whereas Liverpool are a bit different. They drew a lot of games.
Well, Liverpool basically won the games they were expected to, plus a few, and then drew the games which were sort of 50-50 coin tosses. Like away games.
They didn't lose them, but they drew.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
They only lost against City, which was basically it was away. The title was lost on head-to-head, basically, because Liverpool lost away from home and drew at home. If they had won at home or drawn away,
that's right.
They would have won the
league.
They
would have won the league, yeah.
But that's how close the margins were. And then this season, Liverpool, unlike previous seasons where they've come second, they are actually holding on to all their players and looking to build on that.
Yeah.
Whereas previously they would,
and they're hungry.
Yeah, they're hungry, and they off the back of the Champions League.
Yeah, but from all reports, that's just a start.
Yeah,
so they are hungry.
They're really in the mindset.
And they want the EPL.
They want longer cup runs too. So,
but they want that EPL.
They want that EPL.
They want that EPL. It's been a while, bro.
And up to the last day, they could have had it, but Man City decided to just keep winning, so that didn't happen. And that's going to be the story of the title race. I think for the Premier League.
You'd expect it again.
And if anything,
I can't see the rest of the top six closing.
They're not ready.
Tottenham is probably the third best team, but they're not going to challenge the top two.
Well, Tottenham and
over the 38 games.
Tottenham are probably the next in line, and they're still a bit behind. And now they finished their new. They finally moved into their new stadium. So well done. Out of Wembley,
they're gonna sign someone from Lyon as well.
So they haven't signed anyone for ages, and
but they're going to sign Lyon's best player.
There you go. So
they're starting to build.
But we don't know if Eriksen's going to lose.
He said he wants a new challenge, but then he's like, if I stay, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I would like. So who knows what's going to happen there?
Yeah,
So
Tottenham will be trying to push on from there. Arsenal also got a good launching pad to push from.
Something to build on.
Yeah,
they're not ready. They're not ready for
they're not ready for a title challenge, but they're definitely ready for a Arsenal, top four.
Yeah.
So this season,
a top 4 finish.
I think they should
be
realistically be looking to get top 4 because I think the two teams that will struggle of the top 6 this season will be Chelsea and Manchester United, because Chelsea have the transfer ban and United are just a shambles.
United are a shambles.
They are a shambles.
Chelsea have the transfer ban. Their squad, look, they got some
lost
good
Hazard.
players.
That's huge.
I was getting to that.
Sorry.
They got some good players. Lampard's going to be their coach, right?
So
that's
who
one
knows?
reason.
That could go either way.
It could go either way. He's not experienced,
It could be
but he's a club legend.
It could be like new Solskjaer or old Solskjaer, like
he could
before
be,
signing the contract or after signing the contract.
Yeah, well,
two
but as you pointed out, they did lose Hazard, which is massive. He was a big part of their team.
Who went to Real Madrid, by the way. We didn't mention that, but he did.
Yeah, he did. But that's so we're going. Those two will struggle. Arsenal should be aiming to leapfrog them.
Yeah,
they really should.
Definitely.
There's no. So our top 4 prediction is City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. Basically,
not necessarily in that order, but probably in that order.
Did I say Tottenham first?
Doesn't really matter because
no, Tottenham will win the league.
Tottenham should go.
Yeah, Tottenham
above
will
Arsenal.
They'll win the league. Tottenham. Yeah.
They could win the league. No, you said Man City first.
I did say City.
City, Liverpool, Tottenham, Arsenal. So I think it was in that order. But then we'll go further down the table because we'll go into more detail in the Premier League, obviously.
Yeah, that's our base. You're our base. We won't forget about you, Premier League fans.
And mainly because we used to do the videos and we talked about the different sections. So we had the top 4, the title race. Then there's the race for Europe. Then there's the all-important mid-table. Yeah, the mid-table. Mid-table.
Did West Ham get it this season? I'm not sure.
I think they might have. But
anyway.
the 10th spot, it's a very hard place. You can't win too many, can't lose too many. It's
just right.
No one actually wants it, but in our heads, they do. They're fighting for it.
Everyone talks about mid-table.
Mid-table safety.
What is mid-table?
Does it go finish top half. Finish top half. That's what they say. Well, that's what they actually go for. No.
What is mid-table? 12? Is 12? Is 14?
Mid-table is not fighting a relegation battle, but not being relevant in Europe.
That's all mid-table.
That's mid-table.
But that can range from all different positions.
So it's the comfort zone.
It's the comfort zone.
Because there's no expectations, but there's also no anxiety.
The true mid-table is 10th.
So 10 is mid-table. 10 is the sweet spot.
That's a sweet spot.
So that's where people want to be. Speaking of relegation, so we lost... who do we lose last season?
We lost Huddersfield.
Yes.
They went down.
We lost them pretty quickly. Fulham as well.
Fulham we lost.
First time of asking, straight back down.
Yeah.
And
there's someone else. Oh, Cardiff?
Yes, Cardiff. So Cardiff went straight back down as well. Short-lived stint. And now there's no Welsh team in the Premier League for the first time in probably 10 years or something like that.
Yeah.
So because Swansea had a long run, but they got replaced by Cardiff. But now, no Swansea, no Cardiff, no Welsh. But Bale might be back. Who knows? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, Bale will go back to Cardiff.
He would be enough to represent Wales because that's because Ramsey's left.
He's Bale's.
Wales is evacuated from the Premier League.
Actually, the only club that will probably pay Bale's wages is Man United.
Yeah.
So
that was once sort of like the first headline that would always come up: Bale to United.
But you can see it happening.
But I can see it happening. Definitely,
absolutely,
100%. Because United are clueless, so of course they'll do it. But United are just a shambles. We'll go into more detail in another week. But in fact, next week we will go into. I think we'll start with the Premier League race. So we'll look in more depth into Manchester City and
Chelsea,
Liverpool.
Of course.
Manchester City and Liverpool.
They're always dangerous, Chelsea.
No, you know what? I lied. We are going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to talk about Chelsea and Manchester United first. Because
we think they're going to be the two strugglers out of the top 6.
Yeah, and but that's next week's problem. Right now, of course, with relegation, with death comes rebirth, and we have Sheffield United, Norwich, and Aston Villa back. We've got one of our Champions League winners back.
Yeah, we do.
So
Prince William will be stoked. Aston Villa are back in town.
3 more titles.
What's his team?
Is it?
Oh, Prince Will, yeah.
Yeah, well, Aston Villa was...
when you got the Prince behind
and still
you,
is one of the most successful clubs in England, so...
Yeah, it is.
Let's not forget that. And who's got... Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if they can solidify themselves like West Ham did a few seasons back, because West Ham pretty big too, obviously, and Newcastle. There's a lot of big teams in the Premier League now, and there's really not much wiggle room because it's getting harder and harder to stay alive in there.
It is.
But West Brom and Stoke looked set, and they're not here anymore. And
that's it. That's how competitive.
And Southampton almost went with them, and they looked pretty set as well. So
it's very competitive. It's very hard.
Just be happy while your team's there because it might not last too long. But
I'll tell you what, Bournemouth.
Well, they've just been hanging on, but they've been hanging on well.
Yeah, they've been quite.
They're not supposed to be in the Premier League, but they're there.
Yeah.
So you just hope that they can sort of hold on to
one team that shouldn't be in the League One is Sunderland.
Yeah.
God.
But that's
what a disaster.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a tangent.
That's for another. I mean, that's going too far down. We might actually look at the championship during the season as well. Leeds. Yeah. That's the other team. That's the other team. There we go.
Well, Leeds.
No, that's a team that we're going to keep an eye on.
Yeah, we will.
Definitely.
I have a soft spot for Leeds.
Well, Coles doesn't really have an English team.
No.
And if he was to have one, it would be Leeds. So we're hoping that they can get up or to make a promotion. Otherwise, they're not going through.
The only reason why it's Leeds is because they had Mark Viduka and Harry Kewell, like the Australian players.
Yeah, it was a generation.
And they were good when in the 90s.
Yeah.
But
you get a soft spot for
I had no idea that they're one of the most hated clubs in England at the time when I chose them.
But that's Leeds. So we'll be keeping an eye on them as well during the season. But in the lead up, like I said, next week it'll be Manchester United and Chelsea. With what else happens in between, because we can hit tangents pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. I hope you enjoy the tangents, because it's going to be happening.
Yeah, so let us know which tangents are more enjoyable than others, so we can focus more on them. But I think that's pretty much all we got for today. So
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, so look, I hope you enjoyed the
podcast and
today's episode.
Yep, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yeah,
about all the good stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk to you then.